Hello there, delightful ones. How are you this evening? Welcome back to our cozy home. Apanth and I are so happy to have you with us tonight. It has been a breezy, blustery sort of day here. The kind of day that makes it sound like there are giant animals flapping their way through the sky. Speaking of which, thank you all for your responses to last week's video. Since you enjoyed the subject, I have curated 4 more poems about dragons of different types, taken from cultures throughout history. So, get your story listening kit together, turn the heating up a notch, and let's cuddle down to hear about dragons among us. The Dragon in Eden. I wondered why our earliest ancestors, Adam and Eve, who lived their life's long day within the walls of Eden's blooming bowers, ever chose the fruit that would make them stray away into the badlands, rough and lonely, beyond the eye of our creator kind. An answer came to me last night in a dream. As I watched the theater in my mind, I saw a spectacle. A gleaming dragon, scattered with gems descending from on high, his mighty wings gleaming in gold and silver. As he floated down from the glowing sky, he set down in Eden, upon a wide lawn, where tiny sparkling, yellow flowers shone, and none of the creatures within showed worry, or acted as if the thing should be done. And when I saw the man and woman, shameless, in their nudity, running to his side, I wondered if it might not be a sign as to why they courted shame and came to hide. What if the serpent, that old trickster devil, was not in fact a snake but a dragon, encrusted with gems, twinkling in sunlight? The pair had watched as the angels had gone, up and down from high heaven, some of them strange, seen with the hollow of a mortal eye. So, they might think the dragon one more child of God come down to visit from on high. Once thinking the dragon, another angel, Adam and Eve would trust what he would say. If dragon mellifluous offered apples, why would they guess that he meant to betray them by urging them to do what was wicked? So they might have acted in innocence, thinking they were watched with a kindly eye, and listening to a voice that made good sense. I woke wondering if dragons in Eden might be the reason mankind chose to stray. Is that why people call Satan the dragon? Did a dragon chase innocence away? The paintings. In Lesotho, in Africa, there stands a vast dark cave. Somewhere within, upon a wall, are inscribed pictures grave. Awful, but also wonderful. Within them, you can see 3 or 4 brave men, spears upraised, battling an enemy. It is the enemy itself that most find passing strange. A huge creature, with gleaming claws that breathes a sulphurous flame. Wings, too, appear upon its back. A tail like serpent's fowl emerges from its lower flanks. Its face would make God scowl. So, what does the cave painting show? An unknown dinosaur? Some spirit from the earthy depths that ancient man abhorred? Or could it be the dragon, so long deemed an airy tale? In fact, walked the earth long before brave Columbus set sail. And if the dragon lived so long before the written word, when fingertips were the only tools artists could afford, might they not be living still in some valley far away, considering what time might be best for them to stray again into the outer world? And do the dragons sing, as into pink and purple skies they gracefully take wing? Have they found forms of nourishment apart from maidens fair? And is it still with gold and jewels they decorate their lair? Does it not make some part of your soul shiver with delight to think there is an outer chance that such proud beings might yet exist somewhere far away or even close at hand? Would not the dragon lend gladness to our oft gloomy land? Fafnir the Dragon. Fafnir was a dwarf brave and strong, a warrior of old. He came from a large family, a full 12 brothers bold. He had at birth, but much later, the Norse gods, by foul chance, wiped out 4 of his kinsmen with barely a sideways glance. The dwarves all mourned their kindred brave and would have sought redress, but the Norse gods offered recompense, their sorrow to address. To Fafnir's father, Odin paid many barrels of gold to ease the rage of dwarfish hearts at the loss of the bold. Had all ceased there, perhaps there would have been no further wrong. But Fafnir and his brother both felt they could not go on. With only the small clutch of coins, their pockets now possessed, they approached their father to say they had been dispossessed of brothers too, and so were entitled to an amount from the holy gold to swell up their dwindling bank account. The argument that followed this was long and loud and foul. Fafnir's brother shook his blond head and withdrew with a scowl. But Fafnir, hungry for cold coin, returned to him once more. In time, his father's body lay out dead on the wood floor. Fafnir's triumph was short-lived. With fresh blood upon his hands, he took what gold he could and fled into the haunted lands, the shadowed lands where specters roamed and never laughter rang. And there, cursed by coin and blood, he became a thing of fang, of scaly hide and vicious breath that hunted in the dark and hid in the corners of caves, should one come near to mark his withered face and trampled soul. Sometimes Fafnir took flight, a vicious worm whose voice echoed throughout the halls of night, and swooped past the fort where he'd lived when a cousin to men. But never closer did he come to his family again. What is the moral of this tale? In truth, I cannot say. Perhaps it is family should not be just tossed away, without thought in the search of gain, or ere we understand, we may have lost our true treasure, the soul that makes us man. The Hydra. The Hydra in her cave slumbers this evening. 3 stubborn heads lay supine on the floor. 3 minds dream of the world laid out around her, and the people that her presence abhor. She dreams about the place of her begetting, where she was born, and the lake where she stays, the poisoned waters of the lake named Lerna, where she, in misery, out her days. She knows that she is vile, and that Echidna and Typhon, her parents, care not for her. She was not born from love, nor yet from passion, but to do harm. A goddess wanted her to slay a child who had no choice in his birth, a boy born from the mortal and divine. Nobody considered that she might not want to in destruction live out all her time. Sometimes she dreams she dies, and her heart flutters, wondering if a monster has a soul, if a worm or a dragon, cracked wide open, might birth another being that was whole. But even death cannot offer the dragon of many heads a chance of sweet respite. Inside her veins is contained her own prison. She finds rebirth in those who would her spite. One of the Hydra's heads cut off is tripled, She cannot escape by an enemy, nor can she stay hidden within the shadows. Her stomach burns because she is hungry. So pity the Hydra, the saddest dragon, and hope that when Hercules takes her life, she's granted another, better life by gods, kinder than the ones who formed her for strife. Subscribe to become a delicious darling. What do you think of the last poem? Poor Hydra. She might have been an evil water dragon, but I still feel very sorry for her. I hope she does get another life somewhere less scaly. What about the other poems? Isn't it wild that people were making paintings of dragons 75,000 years ago? I wonder if people really hunted dragons, or if the one in the picture was only bad, and that the good dragons lived with us cheek by jowl. That may be why so many of us dream about dragons. From our cradles, somewhere in the distant past, they were our friends. Today's word, for those who watched the whole episode, is soaring. Type it in the comments, and then leave me a note telling me what color you think the perfect dragon would be. As always, if you want to make my night, you can hit like, subscribe, or follow, and tap the notification bell. That way, you will become an official delicious darling. Next week, we are going to visit with another magical creature. I won't tell you which yet, except to say that they are hairy and tend to be more active around the full moon. Okay, I am off to build a pants new scratching post. That should take me about 5 hours. Until I see you again, stay well fed and happy. Watch out for grumpy dragons. And sleep well, my delicious darlings.